Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Dennis Duke is my name. If you're new here, please ensure you subscribe. Today we are in Ghana. Okay, at least we have somebody from Ghana. His name is Fred from Shimenshia Farms.
Yeah, Farming in Africa.
Farming in Africa. That's the YouTube
name.
channel.
Yeah.
So please go out there and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Today we want to talk about something very interesting that very many of you, a lot of you have been actually asking about, and that is how to import goats from I think South Africa or anywhere in the world to an African country. And the case study today, we are looking at Ghana for that matter. And for those of you who thought maybe the content that I'll be doing was only for Uganda, shame on you. Today we are in Ghana and we want to understand some of the nitty-gritties of how to import goats or sheep from South Africa or from any other country in the world to Ghana. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm super excited that we finally met. I started looking at some of your works a couple of months ago, and I must tell the viewers that he's one gentleman, just like me, Tina, and all the other people that are doing out there good work. Is we are trying to empower lots of people, and he's one of those that is actually trying to empower a lot of you guys. So, welcome.
Thank you.
How is farming so far?
Good, but I'm loving Uganda more. So I don't know if I want to go back to Ghana.
We have a lot of land. We have beautiful women. You can stay here. We can give you as much accommodation as you want. So let's go straight into the points. Where does somebody start from?
If you want to import goats.
Yes.
All right. So I will start from how we started. So, you know, Shimenshia Farm is also a mixed farm, basically very integrated farming where we have chicken, we have goat. We started with actually cattle, and then we moved to chicken after a year, and we decided we wanted to go into goats. And when we decided we wanted to go into goat, didn't want to start with the local breed. Even though we used the local breed as an experiment and to learn from it, we decided if we're going to do really commercial farming, we wanted breeds that are stronger, breeds, you know, that can grow faster, so at least the production rate is quicker for us. So we started looking into different breeds, and we found the Boer goats, the Savannah, the Kalahari. So these three goats were what we were interested in. And, you know, we could find them in other African countries, but the place where these goats originated is actually from South Africa. So I had no option than to go to South Africa, meet with a lot of farmers in South Africa that are breeding this goat. So that's where the process starts. So process number one, you got to find a breeder in South Africa that is registered with the South African Breeders Association that is actually breeding an original goat that you can trace their bloodline. Once you find a registered or an official breeder, then now you have to find a livestock licensed shipper in South Africa. This person is somebody that has been licensed in South Africa to be able to transfer livestock from South Africa to other countries. So then you find this person, and then the next thing is for you to know what airline goes to your country. In my case, I ship to West Africa, so Nigeria, Ghana, all those West African, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, West African countries, right? So once you find the airline that goes there, then you also have to work with the airline's requirement and dimensions. Aside that, each country also has their own health requirement. So in South Africa, for example, in order to take a livestock from South Africa to wherever you're going, first of all, you need an official government vet to come and run a test on these goats. There are a couple of tests that they will give you the list. They will run all those tests one by one and take it to their lab and make sure that these goats are free from those diseases that they run the test on. Once the goats pass the test, what happens is that then they are taken into quarantine, because it doesn't make sense for you to keep the healthy goats with the goats that you haven't actually run any test on. So you then go into quarantine for about 21 days. After the quarantine, they will run this test again to make sure that they haven't contracted any disease during that quarantine. At that point, when they pass, that's when you're able to take the health certificates to your freight agents, and then they can start the processing. That is on the South African side. In your country, your government, your agric ministry also has a requirement that you have to follow. In Ghana, we actually have 10 vaccination requirements that you have to, and same for Nigeria as well. So what we do is we then send these requirements to the South African veterinary, and then he will make sure that all those tests are done.
Okay.
Once all those tests are done and they're proven positive, he will add a certificate, a health certificate, plus the aside certificate. And then together we will take it to the ministry and gain permits to be able to bring the goats. Right? So now when you have a permit, you can then send a permit through DHL back to South Africa, where the freight will then look at the permit and say, yes, you have the permission to transfer the goats into this country. So when the goats arrive, then of course now you have to handle your charges, your duty charges, the veterinary charges, transportation, so on and so forth, which is very similar in each country. But so basically that's the actual process. Again, there is dimensions and all these things in South Africa and in your country that you have to meet. But that is the entire process, step by step, that we've been doing for the past a year now. Okay. in bringing goats to West Africa.
Does this mean that somebody has to actually be in South Africa or that particular country where they are bringing the goats? Or, I mean, I could be in Uganda, I could be in Ghana or Nigeria, and just go online and find somebody who is, importing goats or exporting, and then pay them money and they do that work for me.
From my experience, and ever since I started importing goats into West Africa through my farm, a lot of people have reached out to me complaining about how people have actually scammed them. Okay. Either I've been in Nigeria, in Togo, or in South Africa. There are actual websites, and people have sent me invoices, actual websites that you can find goats, people that say they can import you goats. And they will tell you that the goat is $100, $200, $50. And you think it's cheap, you send them the money, that goat is never gonna come. They are just fraudsters and are not into the goat business, but they've seen the opportunity. Because don't forget, South Africa is the main origin of these goats. So people are not stupid. They've realized the demand for this Boer goat, Savannah, Kalahari, and have created a fraud business around it. So they've invested in websites, bank accounts, all these things. You send them the money, and if they are fraudsters, you're not going to see anything from them again. Second, they might just be breeders. And if they are breeders, they don't have the license to actually ship goats. So yes, they might have your goat, but they won't be able to send it to you. Right? So there's a lot of these fraudsters around. If you do have the capital and the resources to go to South Africa and that's the best. But if you're in West Africa, then there is no need, because we've done the hard work. You can reach out to us. You can look for us on Farming in Africa. I'm sure you will link our WhatsApp number and stuff that people can reach out to us, and we can ship it to you anywhere in West Africa. I know in East Africa, there are a few people that ship it here as well. So, you will be able to get them in East Africa. But I do encourage you, if you want to go into goat farming, to start, once you know what you're doing, to go in for the better breed, because there is a big difference.
Okay. Yeah. As a person who has imported goats for some time, what are the biggest challenges that perhaps you'd want to notify somebody who wants to do it, but also say, okay, there's this challenge, but this is how you're going to go about it?
I think the challenge is first of all, finding the right breeder, right? And if you're doing business from a distance, then quality control, right? So making sure that you get pictures of all your goats, making sure that you get pictures of their nails, the skin, the shape of the goats. You need to know all these things. The best thing will be to be there. And that's why I'm actually planning another trip to South Africa, because we have an order coming in and I want to make sure that I'm there. I'm able to hold my goats by the chin and then see how a female goat looks like. I want to be able to look at the legs of my back and be able to say, okay, this is a great back, and so on and so forth. So second challenge is in our countries, guys. And, don't get me wrong, but it is very stressful once the goats come and you're trying to deal with immigration, certificates and stuff. sometimes it could take hours, to be able to go through that process. And I wish that is much smoother for us, to do this, because we wish the government would do it and we would just buy it from them. But that's not the case. And at the moment, we have to go through that sort of hassle of really getting the paperwork and everything in place, and one officer can delay you for 5 hours just because,
They want you to give them some money.
Oh, yeah, or he's not like, whatever the reason is.
They are not in the mood.
Exactly, so we really wish there would be more professionality around this to support with the farmers, because I think these breeds are going to change the livestock farming in goats, right? And if we're able to bring them here smoothly, then it's going to help the agricultural sector.
Just as we wind up on that thing, you talked about somebody being able to go to South Africa to choose the goats by themselves. Yeah. Don't you think that becomes a little bit expensive? And besides, how much should somebody look at in terms of capital before they start their goat importation business? Because it could actually just be business where somebody is interested in just importing and exporting. You know, they are not farmers to say, but that is just a business.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there are two ways. If you're thinking about importing the goats into your country and selling it out, then you need that capital to be able to import it. But in my case, I always import to my farm, and through my channel, which is Farming in Africa, we have other people who are also interested from Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria. So we all put money together. I have already done the hard work of building the contacts and knowing the process and knowing what to do. So then with our money together, we're able to bring it into the country.
Is there a way somebody can bring one goat, or it's usually good to bring more goats? And besides, what are the benefits?
You can't bring one goat.
Oh,
the reason why you can't bring one goat is the freight for bringing the goat doesn't change.
So one goat, it could change. It could perhaps they could charge you almost the same money that
as
they charge 35 goats.
So the best way to do it is to reach out to me in West Africa, to reach out to you in East Africa, and put money together or bring various farmers together, and then say we are now going to bring this goat. So by 35, if the freight is, let's say, $19,000, you're dividing that by 35. Instead of if just one farmer is importing, let's say 10, then you're dividing 10 by 19,000, which then makes the price of the goat more expensive, because the price of the goat itself is somewhere within $500, $600, but the freight, the duties is what really makes it expensive. So the more orders you have, the cheaper the goat can. But you can also do more than 35, because then you're really going into small size, which then your customers are not going to be happy with. But the maximum we try to do is 35 goats per crate. Okay.
Well, we've had quite a handful of information here, ladies and gentlemen. One particularly in how to export or import goats in your respective African countries. Thank you so much, Fred, for giving us an opportunity.
You're welcome.
Fred, he has a YouTube channel called Farming in Africa.
Yeah.
And he is the CEO, team leader at Shemishia Farms, found in Ghana. I told you we shall traverse this country, we shall traverse this nation, the continent, and the world at large to bring you inspiring stories. So today we got stories from Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a goodbye from us. See you.
Bye-bye.